On QUTV News this week, a club on campus is sending a positive message throughout the halls of the university. See how the group members have been impacting students. The city of Quincy held their annual event celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We have the details on that celebration. And the QU men's volleyball team was featured on the NCAA volleyball Twitter account. Find out what challenge the men completed.
Hello and welcome to QUTV News this week. I'm Abigail Moore.
And I'm Quincy Feeney.
Dr. Martin Luther King's annual holiday on January 21st meant no school for students across the nation. Dozens of people in the Quincy community filled the pews of Bethel AME Church on January 21st. The service commemorated Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s influence and achievements. His impactful words and message on equality were the highlight of the celebration.
This celebration, this time is more than about color, people of color. It's affected everyone, and it affects everyone. That's why Dr. King talked about the equality of all, not of just one.
Quincy Mayor Kyle Moore and other members of the community spoke about his words that live on today.
I think it's the impact he made on our country and that he still makes an impact today. I mean, everybody quotes his quotes and talks about him, especially on a day like today. So his words were inspirational.
The service included the QHS Music Department, Teen Reach students, and the announcement of essay contest winners. I'm standing here today in front of Bethel AME Church on 9th and Oak Street, where the 33rd annual celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was celebrated here today with the service. As you can see, there's snow on the ground and the temperatures are frigid, but that did not stop the Quincy community from coming here and celebrating the holiday. The service was sponsored by the NAACP Quincy branch. The celebration is held every year on Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Abigail Moore, QUTV News, Quincy. For more information on the annual service, visit the church.
The recent polar vortex caused QU to cancel school. Classes have been canceled at least 3 times due to the weather this year. The recent cold front brought temperatures that some students have never experienced. The Student Success Center offered gloves, blankets, hats, and other warm essentials for students.
Down here trying to look for some gloves, skull caps. I wasn't really ready to embrace this cold weather, so I was just trying to get warm.
The temperatures were so cold, the snow froze over and pipes began to freeze. Luckily for students like Houston, Groundhog's Day was Saturday and Puxatawneyville did not see a shadow, meaning spring is coming early this year. And students may have noticed sticky notes lining the walls of campus. I dug deeper into finding out who is behind the messages and why. Students in Francis Hall and North Campus will find the walls filled with sticky notes. The sticky notes contain words of encouragement and Bible verses. One note said, "Live every day to its fullest." The people behind it? Members of CREW, an interdenominational Bible study group looking to grow in faith.
We want to just be positive and encouraging for all students. Like, we want students to understand that, like, they are loved and they're cared for. Like, there's someone out there who cares about them, whether they know it or not.
And the notes are having an impact on students.
That was a nice little note to see walking up the stairs.
Anyone is allowed to join CREW, and there's no fee for membership. But you don't have to be a part of CREW to make a difference. Organizers encourage students to do their own acts of goodness, whether it's leaving a note of encouragement on the wall or simply opening the door for others.
What you do in life, you should always be encouraging to others and loving to others and kind to others. That's really what the sticky notes are. They're an embodiment of the kindness and love that one should share with every single person every day.
The group meets on Tuesday nights at 6:15 in the Frank and Claire's room in the campus ministry house.
QU is hosting a communication visit day on February 22nd. Those interested in a career in journalism, public relations, and communications are encouraged to sign up. The day will consist of a tour of the university and broadcast studio and a Q&A with the faculty and students. Lunch is provided. Go to quincy.edu to register.
Some QU students took a trip across the country to stand up for what they believe in. QU students traveled to Washington, D.C. on January 14th to take a stand against abortion. Alongside 900,000 other people, students marched through downtown D.C. The thousands marched for a repeal on the 1960 Roe v. Wade decision. Several held signs of personal stories and political views.
I'm down here coming up with an open mind. Coming from Massachusetts, I have a lot of buddies who are left-sided, who are pro-choice. I've heard the pro-choice mostly, but never really heard a lot of the pro-life. It's just recently I've been starting to learn more, and I want to expand my knowledge more before coming up with a final decision.
U.S. Vice President Mike Pence and political analyst Ben Shapiro were speakers at the march. The march is held annually every January in D.C. Well, coming up, the Mr. GQ event is right around the corner. We have what you need to do to participate.
And researchers think they have the answer to a deadly disease. We have the details on that and more next.
Hi, I'm Adam Rogan, and I'm a senior at Quincy University, and I'm a master chef. I'm about to make you scrambled eggs. Eggs are a cheap way to get full fast, and it's something quick and easy to make, and it's also really good. I'm going to be cutting up some turkey, spinach, and putting shredded cheese on the eggs. I think people should cook because it's a really fun thing to learn, and you can learn it from basically anywhere, from cookbooks to online to TV shows, and it's just a really fun thing to do once you get the hang of it. After you mix all the ingredients together, you can put them in the pan with some heated olive oil. When the eggs are done, you'll know by them getting nice and fluffy. And that's how you make scrambled eggs.
Soccer is a physically demanding sport that often results in a tie. Student life comes with its own demands, and often it feels like the losses outnumber the wins. Sometimes you just need someone to listen. It's comforting to know our Quincy team extends beyond the field.
Are focused around figuring out what we want to do. Here at Quincy University, we can help you find what you want to do. Just take a break and do what you love.
Welcome back. AOPI sorority needs help from men on campus for its next event. The Mr. GQ event will raise money and awareness for Juvenile Arthritis Foundation. Participants will have to change into a few different outfits and present a talent. Some talents in the past included how to make a paper airplane and how to play an instrument. The event is on March 29th at 6:30 in the Hall of Fame room. There's a $3 donation request for students and $5 donation for the public. QU Music Department is hosting a clarinet day for high schoolers on February 2nd. Participants will spend the day rehearsing music and learning about the clarinet. The day will conclude with a concert for the families and friends. Clarinet Day is free and lunch is included. Go to quincy.edu to register. Hawks signed a letter of intent to join Coach Gary Bass on the QU football team. Today is National Football Signing Day, where high school athletes commit to their college of choice. QU received over 40 letters of intent. Those students will start attending QU in the fall of 2019.
An annual event recently held at Quincy University will help benefit QU student athletes. QU's Mart Heinen Booster Club hosted the 30th annual John Funk Memorial Chili Cook-Off on January 27th. The event featured an all-you-can-eat chili and soup tasting and judging. The cook-off was open to the public and took place at the HFC. There were 11 teams in the competition. Raffle tickets were also available for purchase to be entered to win various prizes.
It's always a super fun event. There's actually, since my fiance works in athletics, there's quite a few athletics, coaches and stuff that come out here. Last year, Marty Bell, the athletic director, made some chili. So it's always a fun little rivalry among some of the people that work here at QU.
The proceeds of the event go back to the athletic department, meant to benefit QU student athletes. The Mart Heinen Booster Club plans to host the event on the same weekend next year. The temperatures have been rising, but despite the warmer weather, they may be dropping back down again.
Will you need to grab your gloves, or can you leave them at home? Find out in your upcoming weather forecasts.
You have to make it your cue for you to do what you love.
Finding your passion is easy at Quincy University. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's degree or looking to go even further, at QU, your professional and academic future is bright. 40 undergrad programs include moments that become experiences, connections that become careers, and relationships that become lifelong support. We want you here. That's why we work hard to ensure that a Quincy University education is affordable. Let us help you put together a plan. Visit discover.quincy.edu to get started.
I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I lost my mother and brother at the age of 13, which is so hard for a 13-year-old. I never let their death be like a burden to me, but more so of a motivation, because anything that I do from now is for them. I brought my GPA back up to where it should be. Myself and other African Americans or blacks, we all feel that, oh, the criminal justice system is like rigged against us. And that's also kind of like what motivates me to go into forensic psychology. So I'm a fan of Law and Order, SVU, and with that, that's what kind of like persuaded me or guided me to go into that field.
Purdue researchers are working on what might be the next medical breakthrough. They have a new drug that fights cancer. CNN's Micah Upshaw reports.
Here is a PCR instrument that we use to amplify some of the genes.
Professor Herman Simpton with Purdue's Department of Chemistry is working to reduce the deaths caused by acute myeloid leukemia.
I am interested in acute myeloid leukemia because it has one of the worst prognosis.
To put it in perspective, if 100 people were diagnosed with AML right now, only 30 of them would still be alive in 5 years, and that number drops to 10 if you're over the age of 60.
Clearly, there is a need to come up with new drugs or new therapeutic modalities that improve the survival of acute myeloid leukemia.
AML is an aggressive cancer that attacks blood cells. Blood cells fight infections and diseases in our body. With AML, an infection as common as the flu could be deadly.
We, as molecular scientists, develop chemicals that bind to this protein that drives the cancer to shut the protein down.
By shutting down the protein, the new drug is essentially slowing down the growth of cancer. This gives the blood cells a chance to gain strength and fight off the infection in the body.
2 years ago, we realized that a few of our compounds were actually very good at killing these cancer cells in a test tube. And so that is when we transitioned to test the compounds in an animal model, which is mice.
The compound cleared the cancer from the mice.
So that was when we knew that perhaps we had developed something that not only works in a test tube, but also works in an animal.
The next step is clinical trial. Simpton believes this drug has potential to save many lives.
If we can extend, life by few months, few years, or even few decades, it would have far-reaching implications.
Well, we thought we made it past the cold spell, only to wake up for the third Wednesday where weather has affected classes.
I know, that is so true. Joining us now is Jessica Abrego from the Weather Center. Jessica, can we expect the temperatures to stay warm, or are we looking forward to more snow?
I would say that the temperatures are going to start going up, but I wouldn't say that we are necessarily out of the clear for the wintry mix. We can head on over and we will start looking at what we can expect throughout this week. As we get into this week, we're going to be hopefully clearing out of getting more snow. This last night into this morning, we had some freezing rain, and this morning our classes were affected once again, but we are going to be going up from here. As you can see, our normal temperatures for about this time are anywhere from about 36 So we're sitting a little bit low on the normal temperature side, but luckily we are not going any lower than the lowest for the temperature. Our record high actually for February was 64 and the lowest was negative 16, so I'm glad we're not dipping all the way down into those negative temperatures. For today we are going to have the sun out and it's going to be about 35. This morning we kind of got the final end of that freezing rain and hopefully that's all going to be cleared off. As we get into this evening, temperatures are going to drop back down a little bit to 32. It's going to be pretty cloudy. And then as we get into Thursday, the temperature is actually going to go up quite a bit to 43. We're not going to see that sun quite yet until we get into this weekend. And on Friday, we're actually going to see the sun for a couple of days here. Friday, if you're going to be going out to Quincy Community Theater to maybe catch the Addams Family or over to the Oakley Lindsay Center for hairball, you're definitely going to need your jacket, but luckily we are going to see the sun, and Saturday will be up to 32. As you can see from our temperatures here, we are staying fairly steady, and we're going to go up a little bit to 34, and those temperatures just kind of are staying fairly consistent there for us. As we get into our 7-day forecast, as you can see, Thursday we're going up to 43, Friday the sun will be out, Saturday the sun will be out and up to 32. And then as we get into Sunday and into next week, we are going to see some more of the clouds and a little bit of the wintry mix, not going to be getting snow or any more freezing rain, but you will need your jackets and gloves if you are going to be out and about.
Yeah, I think those temperatures still call for me to wear my coat and probably some gloves.
Yes.
But thanks for that update, Jessica. Well, the groundhog says spring is right around the corner, and that means new sports in action. And see how a couple of Hawks teams fared up against the nation's best this past week.
College shouldn't be as hard as understanding fine art. Use the resources here at Quincy University. We're here to help.
Finding your passion is easy at Quincy University. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's degree or looking to go even further, at QU, your professional and academic future is bright. 40 undergrad programs include moments that become experiences, connections that become careers, and relationships that become lifelong support. We want you here. That's why we work hard to ensure that a Quincy University education is affordable. Let us help you put together a plan. Visit discover.quincy.edu to get started.
Joining us now is Sports Director Will Connerly.
A busy week in Hawk athletics despite the frigid conditions.
We have a lot to get to. We start with women's basketball. The Hawks had a tough test last Thursday versus Drury University, the top-ranked team in Division II. QU kept it close early, but a three from the far side for the Panthers. They take an 18-15 lead, and this is as close as QU would get down the stretch. The Panthers really imposed their will. When you got to the second quarter, they outscored the Hawks 24-6 in the second quarter and just struggled to get the offense going. You see here, it's going to be a shot clock violation as Spagnola has the ball on the far side wing. can't make it a pass to anybody on the Hawks team, and the time runs out. QU lost 95-52 to the nation's best team, and they stayed undefeated. The Hawks were back in action Saturday against Missouri S&T. Their effort was clear from the jump against the Miners. The Hawks got 2 offensive rebounds in the first possession. You see right there, one by Gronwold Spagnola for the 3, and another one by Alexa Lowe. QU on their opening possession at Gibson Arena in Rolla, Missouri, eventually got the 3-pointer. You see here the pass in the corner to Taylor Hickey. She cashes it in. She had a team high 15 points, but you go to the end of the game. You see here QU called a timeout. They were close. They needed a 3 to tie it. They run the clock all the way down to 10 seconds before they attempt to make the pass, but Hickey just couldn't corral it, and QU ended up falling short in that one, 66-61. That was their 4th straight loss. They're now 5-16, 3-9 in GLVC play. The Quincy men's basketball team also had a tough time against the Panthers last Thursday. They fell 86-59 to Drury University. They were led by Jacoby Womack with 14 points and 3 rebounds. However, the Hawks responded very well, just like the women did, with a strong performance on Saturday. It was a slow start for both teams, but you see here out of the inbound, Briscoe finds Demetrius Houston from the corner, and the Hawks took an early 8-2 lead, but down the stretch when it came down to it in crunch time, which a game that came to the wire, it was the free throw shooting by the Hawks in the final 70 seconds. You see 1, 2 right there. The third one by Jacoby Womack as he sunk to a 2 from the line. And then the end by DeAndre Alexander, 5 of 6 from the charity stripe to end the game. And the long attempt didn't matter as QU was up by 4. Solid free throw shooting by the Hawks. And they take that win against Missouri S&T. Good response by the Hawks. They're now 9-13. And in GLVC play, they continue their road trip against Truman State next Saturday. On Saturday, the men's and women's track and field team ran their second indoor meet of the 2019 season in Jacksonville. The pairing of Hannah Horman, Ashton Leslie, Caitlin Ober, and Athena Lestatosis took their 3rd place in the 400-meter distance relay. Lestatosis also placed 13th and Horman placed 17th in the 800-meter race. Kellen Lamore finished 17th in the 1600-meter with a time of 6 minutes and 27 seconds. And Will Kipping for the men placed 8th in the men's 1600-meter run, completing the race in 4 minutes and 51 seconds. Kipping also finished the 800-meter race in 2 minutes and 10 seconds for 10th place. Colton Craw earned a 4th place finish in the 200-meter, finishing in 23 seconds. And Josh White finished the 8th in the high jump. Men's volleyball was also in action this past weekend in the Lindenwood Invitational in St. Charles, Missouri. In its first match, they took on nationally ranked #1 team, Long Beach State. The next day, the Hawks had a stellar performance, which led to a 3-0 win over Alderson Broadus. Omari Wheeler led the Hawks with 15 kills in that game. On Sunday, a marathon third set proved to be the difference. The Hawks fell to Lourdes University 3-1. Omari Wheeler had 16 kills, Jacob Sheets had 7 blocks, and Matt Friddle had 44 assists. QU is now 4-6 after going 1-2 this weekend and host Loyola University on Friday, February 8th for their first MIVA match of the year. The tennis teams were also in action this weekend. It was their opening weekend. They took on Southern Indiana. The women won 4-3, while the men fell 5-2. The Hawks tennis teams ended that opening weekend with losses to Bellarmine. The men fell 5-2, and the women were swept 7-0. Men are 0-2, and the women are 1-1. That's a wrap for sports.
Thanks, Will. Stay with us to see the video that was featured on the NCAA volleyball Twitter account.
We have that next.
My name's Carl Hirsch. I'm a senior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I'm studying criminal justice here at Quincy University. I was pitching down in Florida, and all of a sudden a coach came up to me. 2 days later, I flew up here for the visit, and by the end of that week, I had my school picked out. I started playing baseball when I was about 3 or 4 years old, kind of the same age everybody usually does. As we got older, from the age of about 7 or 8, I played with the same exact team for the most part until we were about 15 or 16, and we all went our separate ways to high school. Come May, I'm going to be looking to apply with the Fort Lauderdale Police Department. I've gotten a good taste of it here through the internship I have through the university with Quincy Police Department. And it definitely wouldn't be possible and wouldn't be in this good of a situation without Quincy University.
College shouldn't be as hard as understanding fine art. Use the resources here at Quincy University. We're here to help.
The QU men's volleyball team was featured on the NCAA volleyball Twitter account. The team successfully completed a header challenge. Take a look. Setter Adam Rogan sets the ball with his head naturally to 5 of his teammates. And then with a pass from Connor Martin, he sends it to the trash can, and it's good. And the team has quite the celebration. The NCAA captioned the tweet, "How do you get your head in the game?"
Wow, that's pretty impressive. I mean, they definitely got their head in the game.
Yeah, I'm featured on the NCAA account.
Yeah, I wonder how many times I had to practice that before it was actually successful.
Yeah, I'm quite concerned about their heads after all of that, but who knows? Well, that's all we have time for on QUTV News this week. For Will and Jessica, I'm Quincy Feeney.
And I'm Abigail Moore. We'll see you back here next week. Thanks for joining us.